Is this your homework, Larry?
Ask him about the car, man.
Is this yours, Larry? Is this your homework,
Is
Larry?
that your car out front?
Is this your homework, Larry?
We know it's his fucking homework. Where's the fucking money, you little brat?
Boom, what's going on, everybody? My name is Johnny. Welcome back to the channel, and today we have some excellent news to share with you. But before we get on into this, if you could go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, it definitely helps out the channel. So everyone, we woke up to some great news this morning. S&P Dow Jones indices to launch cryptocurrency indexes in 2021. We've been waiting for this for a long time. If you watch Data Dash, he's been talking about a Bitcoin ETF for quite a long time, and what it could do for our industry. Now, this is a good news, and this is also bad news, especially coming from a trader's perspective. This is going to eliminate some of the volatility, making it a little bit more difficult to trade in the long run. But as far as mass adoption goes, it's definitely a step in the right direction. We might see, some inhibiting regulation come down the pipeline in the next few months, but until it does, we should just assume that things are going to continue in the trend that they are going. Let's head right on into the Bitcoin technical analysis. This is what I'm looking at right now. We seem to be forming a symmetrical triangle on the 1 hour chart, giving us a 1 extension up to 22,253 and a possible 0,618 extension to 2588. Now, I definitely see Bitcoin possibly breaking this bullish, but then again, we are headed into the weekend, and weekends tend to be pretty quiet. But the apex of this symmetrical triangle doesn't reach its end until about December 6th or 7th. So we could be a little ways away from a breakout, but we seem to be on track for one. This could be an inverse head and shoulders. Again, left shoulder, right shoulder, head. We could break that and head further to the upside. But what I'm looking at is this symmetrical triangle, and we should break this around, like I said, around the 8th or 6th or 7th of December to the upside. Now, there is definitely a bearish possibility here. We've just been kind of climbing over the past couple of weeks to months, and we are due for a serious correction. Now, the one we saw here wasn't very much, and we've just been consolidating and moving sideways. But the thing is, especially with the bullish news here with the new cryptocurrency index in the S&P 500, that could add some bullish confluence or some bullish fundamental support to our bullish idea here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the volume weighted MACD. It looks like we did get a rejection here for a bullish cross, but if we break down below here, then we could see further downside. It is looking a little different on the normal MACD. Again, we did get the same rejection here, but it doesn't necessarily look extremely bearish. The 1 hour RSI, it looks like we could be headed for a nice hidden bullish divergence here, depending on whether or not this continues to head to the downside. If we do get a bounce off this lower trend line here, we could get a confirmed hidden bullish divergence, which could mean that we are headed back to the upside. Now, this is the 1 hour funding rate. Let's go ahead and zoom out to the daily here. 1 hour funding rate is still in the positive. We would like to see that in the negative before we really kind of look into entering any sort of trade. But this is still a little ambiguous here, so I'm not really sure what the daily is telling us as far as funding rate goes. We did get the bullish cross on the daily stochastic, and we are now headed into a bearish cross where looks like we're going to head back down, test this lower support on the stochastic, which could mean that we are headed for a small correction in the meantime. So let's go back to the hourly chart. Again, we are at the hourly. I did enter a trade here right at the bounce of this lower trend line, and I'm watching it closely to make sure that we do not fall below. So I have my stop right here. If I do lose, it'll be a small loss. If we do break through, what could happen is we will fall through. And if we get the bearish confirmation of the retest of this support flipped resistance, the SR flip, and then we will wait for Bitcoin to further continue to the downside, and we will look for entries there. Now, we've talked about them a few times in the other videos, and today I really won't waste your guys' time with further entries. But if we do break this symmetrical triangle to the downside, you can count on an emergency video from me with updated entry targets there. Let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum has been pretty interesting here. Again, this is the Ethereum USD chart here on the left hand side. Here is the Bitcoin Ethereum USD ratio, and then the exact opposite on the other side. Basically, these two charts here on the middle and the right let me know which asset to be in, whether that be Bitcoin or Ethereum, and these charts are saying that Bitcoin is the stronger asset to be in at the moment. Oops, didn't mean to click there. Let's go ahead and go to this chart here. So this is the Ethereum USD chart. It seems that we did kind of break out of this symmetrical triangle that was forming here, but it was very weak, came back down, and it looks like we are again moving sideways right along with the Bitcoin price. Now, I don't really know what I have going on here, so please excuse the messy chart, but I do have the sell signal popping up on my strategy here. That's not necessarily a good sign. This thing is pretty accurate, but we'll see. You know, this thing usually molds into some sort of buy signal at some point. Right here we have the yearly resistance 2, the Fibonacci resistance 2, that I definitely see the Ethereum price coming down and retesting before moving, either continuing in the bullish direction or heading further to the downside. But this is exactly where I'm looking to enter into a Ethereum trade right here. However, we may not get that. We could be forming some sort of very steep cup and handle, which is definitely a possibility, but it really is an ugly cup and handle. I would say this is more or less an Adam and Eve possibly forming out, but even then we don't have our second bottom, and usually the Eve part of an Adam and Eve is a nice rounded structure on after the atom, which is usually the V-shaped type bottom that we see in the atom structure. So right here, we're really just looking and waiting for some sort of definitive price action to play out so we can patternize our trading and look and see exactly where we want to enter and therefore take profits. But if we do come down and get a retest of this yearly fib R3, then we will enter in a trade, but we will keep our stops tight just in case we continue further down and head down to the 455 area. Let's go ahead and take a peek at the MACD for Ethereum USD. And you know what? If Ethereum manages to hold this price level here and the MACD histogram continues to head to the downside, we could get a nice hidden bullish divergence here, signaling that we could be headed further to the upside. We are forming one on the RSI and the 2-hour here, but it is not yet confirmed. If anything, we do have a bearish divergence possible here. This is a little higher, but if you discount that wick, then we definitely do possibly have a bearish divergence, but this is not yet confirmed. If we zoom out to the 4-hour, cleans that up a little bit. We definitely do have a hidden bullish here, but you see that played out in this further move to the upside. And then if Ethereum manages again to stay above this R3, this former R3 now flip to support, then we should get a hidden bullish divergence, letting us know that we should get further continuation to the upside. Yes, that is Crypto Faces market cipher down at the bottom, but I do not talk about that on the show. Let's go ahead and take a look at the DXY. DXY continuing to head to the downside. We did get a bounce here. Let me see. This is the 4-hour chart. That is a 382 extension to the downside. So that was a nice bounce. This does confirm further movement to the downside. Again, we got the bounce off this GAN support here. And then it does look like we are headed down here to the 618, right around the 88.27 area on the index, which could be extremely bullish for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. Again, if we want to revisit the inverse correlation that I talked about a few videos ago now, but I use it in every analysis, in every video. Again, every 1% move down we get out of the DXY, we get anywhere from a 10 to a 15% move to the upside out of Bitcoin and Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. So I use that because I use the GBTC chart because it does kind of eliminate some noise out of the spot price for Bitcoin, and it makes it sometimes easier to let you know what price the direction is headed. But again, if the DXY continues down, that will give us a move about If we hit this 618, that's about a 2.6% move. So that'll give us anywhere between a 30 and 40% increase out of Bitcoin, which is definitely possible, especially when you consider the fact that there is so much institutional money coming into this market, as well as the good news we just got about the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency indices popping up in the S&P 500. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Bitcoin dominance. Again, this is the daily chart on Bitcoin dominance. We were in a descending broadening wedge here, which looks to be forming an inverse head and shoulders, meaning that we are going to get a huge spike out of Bitcoin dominance, which will be bad for altcoins. Now, if this price action continues in the direction that it is moving at current, we could see altcoins take a hit when this happens, but you know, that could not, it could be quite a few months away. So we have our eyes peeled. We're staying on top of it. We're waiting for a new altcoin season. We do have some altcoins starting to perform well already. We talked about those in the last video. We won't really dive into those today because really nothing has changed since yesterday. We're just moving sideways, consolidating, waiting for some sort of definitive action to make a decision on. We've got the DeFi index futures. This is the DeFi index. It's not performing terribly. It is getting a small correction right at the moment. We got the total crypto market cap looking like it could be headed down for a correction. This is definitely something to keep your eye on. This will definitely give you some insight in the trajectory of the Bitcoin price and altcoin price as well. This is the total crypto market cap, so all crypto included in here. And again, it looks like we are forming some sort of weird shaped cup and handle. Possible inverse head and shoulders. I have the next target for the total crypto market cap right around $674 billion. That is a percent move of about 18% from where we are at currently. So when that does happen, if we do break across this first target, which met beautifully at 569 billion, we could expect or should expect further movement to the upside there, which should translate into higher prices for both altcoins and Bitcoin. USDT market cap dominance seems to be leveling off right here. This is the 2-hour chart. We did get some movement out of USDT back into some traditional coins and Bitcoin. You could see that here as the dominance kind of fell off a little bit, but it does look like it's rising again, indicating that some are moving their positions out of Bitcoin and altcoins back into USDT. This is the ETH cap market dominance. It again is heading to the upside, something that we are totally expecting here. We should see Ethereum do some pretty interesting and impressive things over the next year to 2 years. But that's about it for today, guys. Nothing really exciting. I apologize. We are moving sideways again with Bitcoin. This is the trade setup I have. Keep your stops tight. Keep your eyes peeled. Keep your eyes on this this Bitcoin dominance chart. This will let you know when altcoins are expected to pop off. But guys, that's all I have for today. If something happens in the meantime, please expect a emergency video, as I'll be right on top of it. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.